I then wrote a letter I was down in Florida. I then wrote a letter to the U.S. Supreme Court, the United States Congress, President Bill Clinton, Hillary's husband, New York State Court of Appeals, Governor Mario Cuomo, that's Andy's father, Attorney General Janet Reno, a Democrat, William Sessions, head of the FBI, probably a Democrat, John Simpson, head of the Secret Service, U.S. Marshals Service, the New York State Legislature. Basically, they're all Democrats. It was a 9-page letter detailing corruption and quoting some of the things. Reno, what I want to do is to build a great department, a department that's marked by excellence and marked by integrity, that it reflects America, where people feel their Justice Department. Make justice a reality for all. Reno said they should address each issue and with one overriding question: what is the right thing to do? So I'm quoting what these people had said in other interviews before what was going on. In the paper, I also included my papers that I filed. A letter detailing with the constitutional question, which states the reason they're not addressing it is because they're not doing it because it would cause havoc throughout this state with everybody that's been in family court. It's better to just keep violating everybody's rights. It's easier. And besides that, the New York State public and the citizens are too stupid to know better. That's their feeling. I included my papers. I also included a 106-page or 101 or 2 pages dealing with everything we have dealt here with. Illegal state statutes, illegal imprisonments, everything. The right to a public trial, jury trial, everything. That's how thick it was, just so you know. That's what was included in the envelope. I got 2 responses. Well, I got more than 2. But I got 2 offhand. One was from Joe Biden. And Joe Biden states, "Dear Mr. Collins, thank you for your follow-up letter regarding the details of your case." Here's the big envelope that came in with all my papers in it. "It is a general policy of the Judiciary Committee not to intervene in or investigate individual matters." I wasn't asking them to investigate individual matters. I'm asking them to investigate the corruption in New York State, depriving every person in family court their constitutional rights. Public trial, jury trial, court of proper jurisdiction, that they have no authority on separation agreements, all that stuff was in the documentation. Congressional intervention in a pending case risks violating the constitutional separation between the legislative and the judicial branches of government. The judicial branch of government is not doing their job. As it seems that you went to some expense to provide the committee with this information, I am returning it to you. Thank you again for your letter. I wish you a swift and satisfactory conclusion to this matter. Cover up. They don't want to address it. We all know Joe Biden's a Democrat. I got a response from the U.S. Department of Justice, Civil Rights Division. This is really interesting. This was dated July 26. It took them another month to answer it than Joe Biden's. I mailed this out on the 21st, 23rd of May. This is in reply to your correspondence to the Attorney General. We apologize for the delay in this response. The matter you mention in your letter is one within the jurisdiction of the courts or the state. The department has no authority to take any action in this matter. Sincerely, James P. Turner, Acting Assistant Attorney General, Civil Rights. Diane Roberts, Civil Rights Division. Everybody's civil rights in New York State are being violated by the court system. Why are they also investigating every time there's a cop shooting? The Justice Department has jurisdiction to go in on that, even when it's before the courts. And when they don't like it, well, we're going to try to overrule the court system. That they can do. But when fathers, mothers, and children are being illegally imprisoned in the state of New York, see no evil, hear no evil, and they're certainly not going to speak any evil. This is our Justice Department. This was 93. This is the Bill Clinton Justice Department. Janet Reno. It was a Bill Clinton appointee. She says she's going to protect rights. She doesn't protect. She wasn't there to protect rights. She was there to cover up for the corrupt Democrats. Just like the Democrats are covering up for Hillary, and the FBI and the Justice Department are all covering up for her. Because Obama's involved in it. And even if he wasn't, they would still be covering up for her. This is what the judge had to say about what I sent to him. Now you've heard what the Joe Biden had to say. This is what the judge said. I am not the one who has, this is referring to me, where I stated, I am not the one who has been violating the law, and it is my right and duty, pursuant to the Declaration of Independence, to take the actions that I am taking, which is writing the letter. This is what the judge said. I am reading this, and he is listing his own opinions. In reading this in conjunction with the second full paragraph on page 8, I do not constitute these threats, but only as rhetorical questions. And that is what the court finds. This court is dismissing this on the merits and on the grounds that the charges against Mr. Collins of Section 240-30 of the Penal Law of the State of New York is not a crime. He is not charged with a crime. Yes, I was. Aggravated harassment under the penal law. And therefore, the information filed, the prosecutor's information filed against him is hereby dismissed. In other words, it was bogus. Again, the right to free speech. The attorney for Albany County, Mr. Gaynor, states, please note my exception. The court, your exception is duly noted. Mr. Collins, you have a wonderful writing ability. Don't let it go to waste. I don't intend to. This is on my website also. JusticeForNewYork.com. After this, there's no threats in there. Judge is stating there isn't. There wasn't any in the Biden letter. There wasn't anything in the civil rights letter from the Justice Department that I was making threats or anything else. But this is what was happening. Local, Saratoga, May 29th, 3A. Didn't even make the first page. Bomb threats, Rattle County. And a 9-page letter threatening to take desperate actions, including firebombs. Well, the judge just said I didn't. And if I had, you can believe me, he would have been prosecuting me on it. The record, ex-Trojan sought nationwide. Man accused of threatening officials. Ex-Trojan accused of officials. Son just fighting for justice. FBI appeals to FBI fugitive. This is what they said. Mailed a bizarre and threatening 9-page manifesto to a host of federal officials. One copy was sent to President Bill Clinton. So they know the Clinton got it. He probably discussed it with Hillary, you know. The resulting nationwide alert for the 42-year-old has made Corella afraid for her and her family's safety. After a call from the FBI, she was told that the family might be among Collins' potential targets. These people are whacked. His manifesto is not his last-ditch effort to shake up the legal system that he has denied in his numerous appeals, she said. Instead, she and her 15-year-old daughter speculated the bizarre document may be a desperate appeal to somehow get things back to their idyllic. They gotta be kidding me. But they got my daughter convinced of that. I'm going to jail in a closed court proceeding. I'm in Florida. I walk back up here, I'm in jail. I needed publicity. I wrote the letter. Absolute legal right according to the judge. I did absolutely nothing wrong. And he said I had a wonderful writing ability. And the Justice Department, we don't want to know anything. Collins sought is the subject of an all-points bulletin, but Joseph Flynn of the Albany FBI office said agents want only to talk with the former Troy resident. Collins was last seen twice in the Clifton Park area, according to a police source. According to the state police, Collins may be armed. They warned that he should not be approached, and anyone seeing him should call police immediately. More lies. When I left Florida, I didn't step back into New York State until about a week or so later, when I turned myself in. I went to Ohio, and I thought, well, give them the thought that I'm in the state. My uncle, who's now deceased, lived in Ohio. I went to his house. We drove up. He dropped me off at the border, so I didn't go into New York. He went in and swapped out my license plates, my vanity plate, which was Amchev, Amy, Chipper, and Everett, on my plate, and got a regular license plate. I figured they're going to check the license plate. All of a sudden, they're going to see I'm in New York State, which I'm not. I then went up and around the back way into Canada and came back across and stayed north of the border of Interstate 87. I was never in the state. I asked who saw me. They told me your son saw you, my youngest one. I asked him later on. I said, did you see me at the house? He goes, what are you talking about? They're lying to cover up. They don't like it that somebody is standing up and fighting for constitutional rights and everything. About the FBI, soon, the FBI wants to still talk to me. Guess what? They never wanted to talk to me once I turned myself in. They didn't want to know about the corruption. Everything is fully documented. It's not bizarre. Everything is in order. Read it. JusticeForNewYork.com. There's my certificate of death of being acquitted of the charge. Bomb threats rattled Saratoga County. I never had one charge against me in Saratoga County. The charge came in Albany County because somebody from the newspaper filed a complaint. So, and Saul Greenberg, decided he was going to run with it and prosecute me. And he lost. That was strike one for Saul. But Saul didn't want to investigate, as DA, the corruption of stripping people of their constitutional rights in Albany County or throughout the state, like I've been arguing. He was there to protect the corrupt judges that I have named in my paperwork. We're going to deal with Greenberg a couple more times. This is what they put out. I just happened to get by chance one day. I was someplace at the right time, and I saw this and got a copy of it. I don't think they realized what they were giving me. But this is what it said. Charles Collins, 140 Blue Eyes, operating New York registration 22K. My mother goes, that's not your vehicle number, when they mentioned it on the news. Oh, and by the way, I was in constant contact with my family the entire time I was in Canada. But nobody knows how I was in contact with them, so I knew they knew where to pick me up, bring me back into New York State, and bring me down here. Wooddead, last seen, 1600 to 1630 hours, Wooddale Drive, Clifton Park. I was never there. Act of warrants, family court, capital, PD, aggravated harassment, subject despondent, possibly armed with one or more fully automatic weapons. I had somebody with a rank, that's all I'm going to say, come in I did work for. And we started discussing this. Now obviously he didn't have any problems with me doing some work for him. He told me basically, this is a shoot to kill order. Saying that the subject is despondent. I have never been despondent. I went through too much and have too much everything documented to be despondent. They knew I wasn't. This was to cover up the illegal actions of the judiciary, possibly armed with one or more fully automatic weapons. In other words, if you see them, shoot them. Now, one of the things that's going to come in is this picture here. According to one of the reports filed in Albany County, was a report stating that this picture was given to them by Michael Clancy of the FBI, which is going to come up in a little bit. So the FBI is involved in this. They don't want to talk about what I've got, and they didn't even want to talk to me. Now, in 2000, we're jumping ahead a little bit here, the FBI came out, was an article in the paper, to show beginning FBI agents, they're now having a forum where the FBI have to take this course. To show the beginning FBI agents the horror and evil of a national police force that doesn't protect civil rights. Gee, isn't that the FBI? The Bureau's trainees are for the time focusing on the role played by Hitler's police during the Holocaust. We do this early on in their training for every very simple reason, to remind them the horror and evil which can result from law enforcement abandoning its mission to protect people and becoming the engine of oppression, said FBI Director Louis Freeh. The new agents get an understanding of what they are protecting, how precious the rule of law is, how fragile civility is, and how the system can be perverted and compromised. That's what it's basically this whole discussion has been about. The FBI today is thinking organization, said whatever his name is. There is a respect for private dissent, but after that there is a public duty to support decisions of superiors as long as they are not violating the law. They are. They're covering up, they're assisting, aiding and abetting the judges in their illegal actions of extortion, case fixing, oppression of the right to a public trial, a jury trial, a court of proper jurisdiction. A lot of people pay lip service to the issue of stepping on the rights of individuals. You see how far things can go when you don't care about people's civil rights. That's the FBI. We have seen where the FBI crime lab, this is me now, falsified evidence in a number of cases, and the issue of why Ruby Ridge and other high-profile cases has been handled by the FBI. Just look at Hillary Clinton and her emails and her family's nonprofit raking in tens of millions of dollars while she is Secretary of State and making favorable rulings for all those who donate to her family. If she becomes a president, you will make her and build billionaires. That's all they're interested in. She sold this country out. She sold, what, 30% of our uranium in this country to the Russians because she got a $10 million gift to the foundation. The FBI gives the public one impression while conspiring with state and federal officials to violate the constitutional rights of the citizens of this country, which they have taken an oath of office to protect. The FBI is there to protect the corrupt government official. Tell me, was FBI agent Michael Chancey promoted as he was willing to threaten me and probably other people as well on behalf of our government officials and was willing to cover up the state and federal officials' illegal actions? The FBI's motto is fidelity, bravery, and integrity. My question is, fidelity to whom? The Constitution or the corrupt government officials? From what I see, it's the corrupt government officials. Bravery. What bravery? How much bravery does it take to threaten someone to keep their mouth shut about the violation of their constitutional rights? Integrity. I think the FBI's actions in my case and other highly publicized cases such as Hillary Clinton and her emails clearly show they have no integrity at all. Their mission is to protect the Democrats. They are controlled by the Democrats from what I see. Now, I said remember the name Michael Clancy. After these charges were dismissed, a few weeks later, my stepfather at the time had an extra ticket, round-trip ticket to Florida that he couldn't use. I decided to use it and go to Florida for about 10 days. I flew under his name because the ticket was in his name. This is before you had all the checkpoints like today and everything. I just got on the plane, handed them the ticket, same way coming back. Landed in Albany about 10 o'clock at night. Get off the plane. 2 FBI agents. One was Michael Clancy. I don't know the other one, but he had dark hair, and I remember, I think one eye went straight and the other eye went in another direction. They come up to me and they say, "Are you Charles Collins?" Obviously they know who I am. They've got my picture and everything. I said, "Yes." "You're threatening government officials." I go, "Those charges were dismissed a month ago, or a few weeks ago, in the court system. You're still threatening officials." "Who am I threatening?" "We can't give you that information." Just like Judge Simone couldn't tell me what issues I raised other than the constitutionality of state statutes. Only thing we're allowed to do is answer their questions. They don't answer our questions. They wouldn't tell me. So we had a little banter back and forth. I said, "Well, what about the illegal?" Very simply put, I don't care about your problems. Whoa! He doesn't care about my problem. He doesn't care that people are being illegally imprisoned in this state in closed court proceedings. He doesn't care people are being stripped of their constitutional right to a jury trial or court of proper jurisdiction. Any of you people out there that are related to Michael Clancy and have been screwed by the New York State Family Court system, give him a big thank you for screwing you over, because that's exactly what he did. He is behind what's going on. Make no mistake about it. He's one of the actors covering up. So they sit there and say they're there to help people and they'll protect rights and everything. They're not there. Matter of fact, a few months ago, there was a sign on 787 going from Troy to Albany. And it said, "Call the FBI with information if you know about governmental corruption." I'll tell you, they don't want to know about governmental corruption. They want to know who knows about the governmental corruption so they can threaten them and intimidate them, in my opinion. All documentation concerning Justice for New York videos can be found at justicefornewyork.com.